Hello, America. Part 2 of Vchip. I know it's a long-winded explanation, but the point is there's a bigger picture involved, and most of what I say is speculation and conjecture. But if I look at all of it and I start tying it all together, it all sort of starts to fall into place, because there's always the cow mentality, or the sheeple, as they've been called here on YouTube a lot. The sheeple will be awakened. Because, they just follow whatever the leader says. Following the leader is all wise and knowing. And, I'm going to keep going. FEMA concentration camps. Once the re-education is complete, you'll be back to a choice of, you can either have the chip, or you can have the fire. Christians are going to say, the V-chip is the mark of the beast, but I have children to think of. So I will conform to your society, and I will grumble under my breath, and I will hate it. But don't do that, because the Vchip can hear you. It can almost hear what you're thinking. Thank God free thought is still free thought. I don't want to get off on the religious aspects of this, only because I made a choice to defend my Constitution, and in by defending my Constitution, my separation of church and state must remain. I can't use religion to help me to judge what I must do, because if I do, I won't do it. I have children of my own, and I want to make a better, greater way for them. Now, newborn infants are being injected with the Vchips, and I think we just spotted on that one. That harmless card will transform soon, because technology exists to nanite or microbial levels, and that's we're talking the size of, a little bit bigger than a blood cell. And that's how far this technology is advanced. So what they can do is inject a handful into your hand, and they can program it right inside your body to your name, your medical conditions, and everything else that exists in your body. Because if they put it just under your skin, they know as well as I do that skin cells die away, and when skin cells die away, you'll suddenly begin to expose your Vchip. Well, they'll tell you, oh, well, no problem, we have this all new technology, and we're going to get you injected, and then we'll get those nanites programmed, and we'll know who you are. So no big deal. So either you work on this planet, and that's going to be the industrial complex working its will. You'll either work on this planet, or you'll be sentenced to death. And that's slavery. They want to bring you back around to the times of slavery, and it won't just be any one color. If you aren't smart enough to make the grade, you're a slave. Doesn't matter what you do, you'll work for one corporation or another. Which brings about, let's see. Now what I just said about the nanotechnology. It's not speculation. It's done. I actually saw a vial about this tall, probably held 2 or 3 drams of liquid. It was said that there are 5,000 of these things in there. So no matter what happens, they can inject these in you. You won't have that ugly Vchip sticking in your hand, because we all know how aesthetic each other are, and we're really into how each other looks. And you look down and you see the Vchip, you go, ugh, what the hell is that? And America, it's coming about. Now, the Patriot card was being designed and intended to be implemented before Reagan, before Bush, before Carter, before any of the current presidents. This program has been in play for a long time, before a lot of us were born, and by the time they're done implementing it, it'll be shortly after we're all dead. At least everyone watching this right now, at any rate. But now, if someone stole your card and pretended to be you, they could get away with it for a little while until they find the body, and then the game's up. And in the meantime, they'll have lots of file footage as to that person using the card and buying things, making purchases, hopping on airplanes, going places. They'll have plenty of footage of that person using that technology. Now, after that, once they decide, oh, the card was a bad idea, we'll inject it now, and then they'll just kill you and siphon your blood, inject it into themselves. A little blood transfusion can make you a millionaire, the president, the owner of Virgin Atlantic, just to name a few. Now, in the other end of it, here's the truth. All the vices will be gone. You like to have a beer, cold beer every once in a while? No more. Or you'll be able to have it at a limited amount. So if you like to sit down to a nice cold six-pack, they'll count how many beers you've had by the time you go purchase your next, and they'll let you know at the counter whether or not you can buy more. Or they might even just stop you at the door, drop in a little microphone, blah, blah, blah. Do you realize that this is your 24th beer in the last 7 days? We will not authorize your purchase of beer today. So that doesn't make any difference. They'll just find a friend of theirs who doesn't drink or doesn't drink as much and have them buy the beer. So addiction's still going to continue on. But don't worry. If you're strung out on cocaine or alcohol, they're going to ship you off to a different style of FEMA concentration camp to help get you cleaned up. And if that doesn't clean you up, it's the furnace for you too. So, no more drug addiction, no more alcohol, no more partying. You'll be a sober, conformist society. When you're supposed to be home at 8 o'clock, which is exactly 1 hour's commute from your work, and you're not there, that voice could drop in and say, you need to go home. You have an early report time to work, you'll need rest. Try to use your computer, they'll shut it off at the source. You know, a person I encountered in my well, let's touch on religion, because religion really is prohibited, but it says the mark of the beast, and that's really what the Vchip is, in my opinion. It's just another way of ripping you off and taking away your identity and making you part of a cog machine. And if you don't believe that, you're just crazy, because that's really where we're going. A subdued population is a controllable population, and our culture of fear has broken us up in so many different ways that America, we're not even sure if we're Americans anymore. We know we were born here, but are we Americans? Are we? I'm not sure. You know, a friend of mine once said, I looked at her during a climate of, this was really in the press, of multicultural children, parents from two different races, and how indignant the press and the current media was at the time. This is like the late 80s, early 90s. She looked at me and she said, you know, at this rate, eventually all of the people of this planet will be one color. And I think she's right. I think she's absolutely right. My libertarian kicked into gear so fast and furious, it just blew my mind. She's absolutely right. So the more profound thing is maybe that maybe under one color, maybe that generation will begin the road to enlightenment, because there'll be no more separation. They can't say, well, you're white and you're black and you're this and you're that. They'll just look at each other as people walking down the street. Now, the Vchip was created by, I got a little bit of time, created by a company called Applied Digital. Its subsidiary, Digital Angel. There's something right out of the Bible for you. On CNN, a reporter was said, plenty of time, a reporter was having said, I have one in my dog, why not have one in my child? Why not stick one up my butt and walk around the street and act like I'm somebody important, because now I've got a Vchip? And the woman who had her children done, I think she's going to get some blowback from that, because in a libertarian, in a libertarian society, this should not be. You shouldn't be forced to work for the cogged machine. You should be able to follow your dreams. That's America. It's finding out, like I've said before, finding out what you're good at and doing it as a career. If you're just homeless, and of course you're probably not watching this if you're just homeless, but the fact of the matter is they've got a Vchip for you too, and if you don't want to become part of the machine, they've got a FEMA concentration camp just for you, baby. And the world's over. I mean, we have to do something. And since I have a few minutes left, America, I want to thank everyone, but I've had a couple people speculate about my hair being a toupee. Nope, it's all real. It's all mine, and it's long. So just so you know, this hair that you see in the back, right here, see that? I've been growing that since we invaded Iraq. Remember, I was for Afghanistan. I was against Iraq. I knew Iraq was a bedlam of horrible atrocity and the things that were going on. But hey, did we actually do any better on any aspect, in any level, in any way or varying degree? Did we make their lives better? Did we? You can say, oh, the president ordered it and these guys did it, but we didn't stop it. So America, I'm begging you, please, Let's all